This sun is so unforgiving. So the grounding is like really hard to do. So I'm on day 16. I had to make a video yesterday. I was going to, but at the last minute I just decided to just cut it off. But I'm being tested this morning. Like the urges are just like so strong. Like I drove up to this spot in nature, found myself, and out of nowhere I got this urge. It kind of triggered an urge of like a sexual experience I've had like in my past, and all these feelings are coming up. And I'm trying to like stay strong. Oh my God, it's too hot out here. I can't do it. It's too fucking hot. Oh my God. It's only like 9:30 in the morning. It is too hot. Just on the AC. Tested today, and so this is just part of it. This is just one of the many challenges and urges I'm going to experience as I go along on this journey. So it comes down to this moment here. I'm feeling all this energy, these huge urges. Makes a difference what I'm doing with this energy. So that's why I got out of my apartment, because I have to transmute this energy. Like you can't retain without putting that energy to something. You know, whatever you hold inside, it's gonna leak out of you in some way. That's the same for resentment. Works the same way. Like things that you hold in, things that you wanna. It could be a truth that you want to speak, but you hold it in, that can manifest. It'll manifest itself in the not so great ways. So, the same way as you're retaining, you have to keep that energy moving and flowing and circulating, and you have to transmute it, put it towards something. As men, we have so many goals, like maybe you want to get sculpted. Maybe you want to make more money, maybe you want to start that business, you want to start that project you've been talking about that you're putting on hold. While you're retaining, it would be a good time to attack like one of your goals. And that would be a good way to transmute the energy. So you can put it towards an outlet, but just, I would say, put it towards a goal or some sort of purpose that you have. Instead of just doing nothing. If you're retaining and doing nothing with the energy, that explains why men end up relapsing. Or if you don't relapse, you might experience all these emotions. It could be anger, it could be stress, it could be frustration. Because you have all this buildup, but you're not doing anything with the energy. So it's important that you're putting this energy towards something. And also another thing, like your discipline. I feel like my discipline, I have kind of I've kind of lowered my standards when it comes to some of my values and the discipline I had, and I've just allowed people to get into my ear and discourage me from my path. That's the thing, we're on this very narrow path. You have to be very mindful of who you surround yourself with, like I said in the last video, because I've had some people in my circle, and have shared some things, shared some of my goals, but there was some discouragement. Also, being on this path, trying to talk to people in your circle about it, it's going to make them feel some type of way about it. They may feel slighted. They may end up projecting onto you, and it's going to make them reflect on maybe their lack of discipline. Like, as you become more disciplined, you'll start to notice that maybe you'll have some people in your circle who are not as disciplined. And they may try to discourage you and pull you back into old habits, environments that you're no longer a part of, that no longer resonate with this newer version of you. And that's why you also have to be mindful of who you share your goals with and your plans with, because that'll give people ammunition to deter you from your path. And whether it's intentional or not, I mean, in my case, I feel like it's unintentional. People are just not aware of what they're doing. Like the people who may try to steer you off your path or discourage you, sometimes it's just unintentional. They're not trying to do it. It's just something that just happens as you start to elevate. Because you're making sacrifices most men are not willing to make. So don't let anyone throw you off track. Anyone who's not retaining, they may try to deter you and say, "What's the point of this? Why are you doing this?" You just have to be very disciplined and don't lower your standards just to appease other people. And that's what I realized I was doing. Like, I was talking to somebody about my journey, and I could tell that they felt like maybe I was looking down on them, and which was not the case, but it's going to make people reflect on themselves. It's going to make other men reflect on their lack of discipline. So you have to just stay strong and just hold yourself to a higher standard. And you have to make a commitment. Like, if you're gonna be on this journey, you're either gonna be disciplined or you're not. I think the street count doesn't matter so much, but I think it's also a measure of how disciplined you are. It's a reflection of how committed you are to this journey. If you can get to 2 weeks, that's great, but if that's all you're aiming for, if you don't believe that you can go if you're not making a conscious effort to learn what your triggers are and to practice good habits. And, we also have to hold ourselves accountable and stop putting ourselves in environments where we know it's going to trigger us into lustful actions, it could be an old fling. You might have some phone numbers in there that may send you random text messages or voice notes or, pictures. Block those numbers, delete them, I stopped going out to certain bars and clubs because it was just encouraging the PMO activity and all the porn watching and all that stuff. So I had to just refrain from certain environments. So there are things that you may be doing that are making this journey harder for you than it needs to be. Don't put yourself in situations where you're more likely to relapse, or they're going to trigger your urges. Just don't set yourself up. This journey is hard enough. Don't make it harder for yourself. have to hold ourselves accountable and just be more disciplined. This is a sacrifice. What I'm hearing a lot of brothers is, this journey's hard. Where's the fun in all this? Like, life should be enjoyed. Like, we should be able to indulge a little bit in some things. That's all good and well. Like, yeah, you should have fun. Life is meant to be lived and not, it's not meant to be stressful or hard. But at the same time, as you're trying to grow and elevate, it's not supposed to be a walk in the park. It's not supposed to be a comfortable journey. The same way when you're going to the gym and you want to get a sculpted body, there are some sacrifices you have to make. I have to sacrifice all the junk food that I love to eat and all the fried fast foods that I like to eat. Like, that's one of the sacrifices you have to make if you want to get the body that you want. It takes sacrifice and it takes discipline. Discipline and consistency. So in the same way, to go far on this journey, you have to be more disciplined. And you have to be willing to sacrifice those dopamine spiking activities that trigger you into lust. You have to be willing to give those things up if you want to go far on this journey. I'm not saying you're not allowed to have fun, you're not allowed to live, but just be mindful in the things that you choose to do. So I'm going to go to the gym right after this. Feel like I'm having better control. My urges, they're a little up and down this morning, but what I do from this point on, I think will make a difference, because I'm really starting to feel it today, but I'm not going to get tempted. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, just watch my diet, make sure I'm going to the gym, making sure I'm getting outside, getting some sun, grounding, reading, staying off the social media, don't do too much of it, and continue making these videos and putting my time into creating something, So you want to put your sexual energy into creation, Like, I like to consume videos a lot, but we have to take a break from that. If you're like a consumer, you like to watch a lot of videos, why don't you apply what you've learned, or create your own videos, This is your time to really lock in on your goals while you have all this buildup. So, stay on this path and just make a commitment. If you want to just retain for 2 weeks and you're okay with relapsing every 2 weeks or something like that, if you kind of already made up in your mind, I'm not going to go any further than this, then you won't. Like, you're not really committed. You're not committed. Like, you're either on the path or you're not. There's no in between. I used to believe that there was a middle path. But it's all about your intention. Like, why are you on this journey? Like, do you want to be a slave to your carnal desires? Or do you actually want to be in control? Do you want to have emotional control? Do you want to have control of your urges? Like, that's what we're trying to accomplish here. Just being a more masculine man. A masculine man has control over his urges. If not, then you are operating more in your feminine. Every time you relapse, you're going to become less motivated, you're going to be more drained, you're going to lose testosterone. It will make you more feminine the more you do it. So if you want to be a more masculine man, you want to have more energy, you want to have the energy, you want to have, there's just so many great things about this journey. thing is just not, is overcoming like lust, all the porn and all the excessive masturbation. You want to be done with that. So you have to become more disciplined on this journey. So I'm gonna stay on this path, even though my urges are, I have them under control. They're manageable, but I just feel like this is a pivotal point, because this is the point I feel where a lot of men will fail. They feel these urges and they don't know what to do with it. So do anything except just sit there. If you're going to just sit there, do some sort of breathing exercise. Actually, I think there was someone in my comment on the last video who recommended that I do breathing more, some breath work, so that'll be really good. And I probably, I should be more consistent with that. I did it yesterday. Actually, in my group, we'll be doing that. I think it'll be a new thing in Sons of God we'll be doing. It might be something that we'll be doing every week, so that'll be good. Keep going. I think I can manage, because like I said, I'm committed to this path. I've already set the intention that I want to be very intentional with my energy and not be wasteful with it. I'm making a commitment to be done with that part of my life, where I'm just going backwards. So just stay on the path. Not supposed to be easy, but it'll build you up, and you'll have more energy to do the things that you want to do and go after, and create the life that you want to create. If you want more money, whatever it is, this journey will help you get there. So I hope that helps, and I'll do better with keeping up with these videos.